Hello, I'm back again and we are going to do the blossoms for our branch. See? Okay, so I've got my lovely pink wool here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some little balls just by rolling them in my hands. So I should explain. I just tore a little piece off. So just about that big. Pretty small. Start smaller, and then you can work your way up to bigger if you need to. Roll it in your fingers. Okay, so now you have a little ball, and I just put it on my mat. And this is where you want to be careful not to poke yourself. I'm just going to felt that little ball a little bit with my needle. Okay, and then roll it again. You have a nice little ball of wool. Okay, so now you're going to make 5 of those. Try and keep them about the same size. So just tear off your wool and then roll it in your hands. You can just flatten it like that, and then sorry, I can't see my hands, but I'm just rolling it in my fingers, still trying to make the ball. And just kind of tuck any pokey outy bits into the center of the ball. Okay. Lots of different ways you can make flowers. You can take the wool and kind of hand spin it, so twist it so it makes like a little bit of a rope, and then you can twirl it, and then that'll make your little roses. So what we're going to do once we have 5 balls is we're just going to attach them to the branch. Hands are very dry. Not as easy to roll these little bits of wool. Alright. You having fun yet? You don't want them to be too big, because then you're just going to end up with a very large blossom. You don't want it to be too big of a blossom. Compare it to my other ones. Two more to go. Definitely encourage you to just try and experiment and find your own way. There's definitely more ways to do this. I've made a few cherry blossoms and made them various ways. I just happen to like this way of doing it. So you can see I'm taking my needle and using it to kind of direct my wool. Okay. Now I'm going to do one more. I'm just going to make one cherry blossom with you. And see how I do it, and then you can go ahead and make a couple on your branch and see how it's done. I'm pulling bits of wool off because I realize I've made my blossom too big. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a little poking. There we go, got a nice little teeny tiny ball. Okay, so now I'm going to take my nest and I'm going to place one of the balls there. Now hold it between my fingers very carefully. I'm going to poke my needle. This one I'm using the number 40. I just find it easier when I'm attaching because the needle goes in much better. Okay, so you're just attaching each ball to the branch. But you're going to place them all around each other. So my balls kind of come apart, but this is where I can reshape it as I'm attaching it to the branch. Okay, I'm just going around and keeping it in a nice ball shape. Trying to compare it to the other one. See, it's a little bit bigger. So this is where it's kind of nice when your needle's helping. Okay, so it's too big, so I'm just going to keep poking it until it gets a bit smaller. Okay, so now it's getting smaller. It's definitely attached. Don't worry about your branch kind of losing its shape a bit as you're trying to attach the blossom. You can reshape it afterwards. Okay, so now you're going to take all of your little petals. This one's quite a bit bigger than the other ones, so I'm just going to really shape it down. Okay, I'm going to squish our fifth one in there. Makes our pretty little flower shape. Right now we're just wanting to make sure they're attached to our branch. It might be not quite the flower shape you're looking for, but you can always tweak it when you're done attaching them. Just poked myself. Okay, so you can see you kind of have a bit of a flower shape. Put it in the center. Now just take your needle and go around each petal, making sure that they are separate. And then just use your fingers to kind of squish it. Just sort of take the shape you want it to. And then you're just going to use your needle and just form a nice pretty flower. Okay, so you can kind of see we have a nice little start of a flower. Now we're going to we have this darker pink wool. You're just going to take a teeny tiny little bit, very small amount, and you're just going to take it as it is and lay it over top and start poking it into the center. Now with your needle, hold your needle there and pull off any extra bits. There you go. And now you have some hanging out of the flower there. Just kind of twist it around your needle and then push it in. Just like that. Now you have a little dark center. Now you can take a bit of the darker wool and go between each petal if you want a little more definition of your petals. I'm just twisting the little extra bits that are hanging out of the darker pink. And then I'm poking them in with my needle. I'm just guiding the pink wool. This is where you could break your needle, so be very careful. But I do use the needle to comb the wool a little bit. But just be very, very gentle. Okay? And just look at your flower, and if you see any fuzzy bits, poke it through with your needle. There you go. Okay, so now that I have this blossom made, I'd probably do at least one more little blossom. Then I want to look at my branch and make sure I haven't misshapen it too much. And I'll just tweak it. And there we go. We have a branch with a cherry blossom. It looks kind of pretty. Okay, so that is our cherry blossom. You can go ahead and make a couple of those if you like. Alright, and then I'll see you in the next one.